that.
You got to give the countdown.
Now we're good. Okay. Good Friday morning, everyone. How y'all doing? Man, kind of a dead crowd. You guys sleeping?
Yes.
Maybe? Shaking the heads. Yes. All right. Today is Friday, this February. July. I was close. Friday, July 21st, 2023. Start off the meeting real quick. Why does this day have any significance to us? Anybody know?
It doesn't to you, Dave. You thought it was February.
I thought it was February, but we are in July and we're wearing shorts and t-shirts. I should know better. But what happened on this day? I'll give you a little hint. 1969. Keith McCoy may know.
Woodstock.
Woodstock. That's close. Yeah, not quite though. Not quite. We're going to go with the space program. I'll give you another hint.
The moon. Landed on the moon.
That's right. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin walked on the moon on this day. So
supposedly.
Yes. Here we go. Where did I find this guy at?
Everybody was thinking it.
Man. So no, anyway. But
now you find out why I never have a mic, Dave.
Yeah, really. Don't bring Bill to a meeting. No. So no, welcome to the Friday morning meeting, everyone. My name's Dave White, and I'm up here today. Proud to have Bill Sprague. Bill doesn't come up here too often, and he may not come up here too much more, but no.
Mom always said I had a face for radio, Dave.
No, you're good, Bill. No, great to have you. We got a couple people out this morning. Dennis is out, and John Harden's out today, so great to have Bill down here. Another different voice, different outlook on safety, and we're proud to have him. But I just want to welcome everybody. Make sure this morning you get your breakfast over here in the cafeteria, and if you're at Salt Lake or Pittston, you get breakfast there too as well. Let's give a big round of applause to our cafeteria staff for the job they do. All right, let's take this meeting. Let's go out east. Let's go out to Pittston, Pennsylvania. We have Mr. Rick Iffert with us this morning.
Good morning.
How you doing, Ricky?
Hey, doing well. You know, just got back from vacation. You know, a lot of sun and fun. Had a great time. But glad to be back. Glad to be back in Northeast PA.
Great to have you back. What's going on in Pittston this week?
Hey, you know, we had a good class. 22 in class this week. 17 PSDs, a couple rehires. So yeah, we're doing all right this week. Most of them are down to the pad, taking care of their permits and stuff like that. So they're busy working.
That's a good thing right there, man. Getting them all trained up and ready to get out there on the road. So
yeah, we do a good job up here. The training pads is going full force. People coming in every day, get their CDL licenses. So you don't have to, just because you came into Springfield doesn't mean you got to upgrade there. You can upgrade here, Salt Lake City, get it taken care of, get it done.
That's right. Yeah, we're available anywhere for the upgrades and for training. And no doubt, if you got any questions, Rick, or anything else you need to add, make sure you get somebody on or get the mic on them or yourself and let us know. Love to hear from you.
Before you go, let me throw a couple of things out there. We got a couple of things coming up here. Abacus is going to be coming up here, and pretty soon they're going to have a desk up here. They'll be able to do LLCs and take care of your tax purposes. And Cardinal Sleep is going to be coming up this way also here pretty soon. So you'll be able to get your sleep needs taken care of as far as your CPAP and maybe parts and pieces that you need or whatever the case may be. And our trailer situation's kind of eased up a little bit out here in the parking lot. Makes it a little bit easier to get around, but still be a little careful when you're out there on that in the trailer pad. Just keep an eye out what you're doing.
Good deal. You got a picnic coming up too?
We do, and I'm not exactly sure what the date is, but August 12th, Lisa just told me. August 12th is our picnic date.
Kudos to Lisa. Good job. I knew you had one coming up, but I couldn't remember the date neither. I figured one of you all could. But thank you very much, Rick. Yeah, good information. I was not aware. Abacus is moving up there. I knew Cardinal was the plans were to get somebody up there, but it's good to get Abacus.
Both of those, yeah, it's great because, unfortunately, nobody wants to talk about taxes, but it's a necessary evil. And same way with sleep apnea. It's good to have that resource up there to make it convenient for our drivers not to have to come all the way back to Springfield.
Yeah, the conveniency of it is perfect, spot on. So it's great to have that. So well, let's go out west. Let's go out to our other terminal we have out there, Salt Lake City, Utah. Do we have Mr. Aaron Ward with us this morning?
Good morning, guys. Yep, we're here with you this morning. Things are going well in Salt Lake City. We are dealing with some excessive heat warnings out here, like many parts of the country. And just want to take a quick moment to remind everybody to do good pre-trips on the trailers. Make sure that you're watching those temperature alerts. We don't want any loads getting hot out there. Everything else is going well. We too have Abacus getting ready to come out to Salt Lake City. We've got a spot cleared for them and looking forward to them being here. We have had Cardinal Sleep here for a while already, so anyone that needs any CPAP machine parts or anything like that, or just needs to get a sleep study in general, we can do that.
Awesome. Anything else going on out there this week, Aaron? I know you got a picnic coming up too. Not for sure on the date, but I figured you'd know that. I'm going to throw it to you on that.
I do. Our picnic, we've got a couple of events coming up. August 25th, we're going to have our Million Mile Dinner, which is for our driver associates that have 1 million safe miles. And we're going to couple that with our 10-year dinner for any one driver or in-house associate that's been with Prime for 10 years or longer. That'll be the 25th. And then August 26th, the next day, we're going to have our picnic.
Good job. All right. A lot of good stuff coming up, Bill.
I want to tag on just real quick to what he said about making sure in this heat we're taking care of the reefer and making sure everything's running. Take care of your reefer. What I mean by that is that heat warning doesn't just apply to the freight. Take care of yourself too, because in this heat, make sure you're taking frequent breaks. If you're in flatbed and out there tarping, don't expect to get it all done in one shift. Take a break. Get yourself some hydration. Make sure you're keeping some cold water in the truck. Do everything you can to take care of yourself just as much as you're taking care of that freight, because you're more important. Okay. So make sure you take care of yourself first.
Yeah, good point. And just want to say to Aaron, if you have anybody, Aaron, that needs to get on the mic or anything else you'd like to add, jump on in, man. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you. But yeah, to piggyback on what Bill said, remember, when you're out there, best thing to drink is water. And I know many of us, some of us like to have an energy drink from now and then, and or maybe some coffee or soda, whatever it may be. But still, the best thing for your body, it comes down to, is water. So make sure you're drinking a lot of water and you're staying hydrated, because that can affect your health, can affect your driving ability, can affect a lot of things. So comes right back down to the best thing to have in the system is water. So stay on top of that. And good point, Bill. That was a great shot on that, and we needed to cover that. But not only that, our refrigeration unit, the biggest evil against hauling refrigerated freight is the heat. So stay on top of that reefer unit. Make sure it's operating properly. You're doing pre-trips on it. If you got any questions, any concerns, get a hold of RoadAssist, get a hold of your fleet manager. If something's not operating right, let them know, because we want to catch it earlier, not later when something goes down. So, but this morning, should we roll on into some safety?
Let's go over some inspections.
Okay, well, first of all, I forgot to do this, but I'd like to bring it back here to Springfield. Good morning, Springfield. There we go, a little bit better. Like to give a big shout out this morning to all of our in-house folk, or not in-house, I'm sorry, for all of our first-time orientation people. If you're in orientation this week and this is your first week here at Prime, welcome. If you could all please stand and be recognized, we'd love to give you a round of applause. So stand up, all three terminals. Kind of struggling this morning, Bill. Maybe I didn't have enough coffee going, man. My words are just not going.
Wrong week to have to be up here with you.
You may have to cover. You may have to run the whole show here in a minute. I'm
going to end up looking like an Abbott and Costello routine before this is over.
I'm going to go over here and sit by Jamie and old Mitch and just kind of snuggle in between them, and you can handle it.
Well, first of all, I want to say to all the ones that are new, and welcome to the company, welcome to the family. You had choices out there. Not to mention in this freight market right now, the hiring's not what it's always been. So if you made it, you are the best of the best. Now we'll call you the bestest of the best when it comes to applicants. Absolutely. Yep. So, but we're not perfect. You're going to find out that we never claim to be perfect. And the reason we have these meetings is so we can listen and get better. And you guys are part of that. So be a sponge. If you're new to the industry, take everything in. We're here to make sure that you have all the tools and everything you need necessary to go out there and accurately do your job, safely do your job, because we want to make sure that you succeed, because when you do, we do. So thank you for joining us.
Yes, very much so. And all of our operators out there running down the road, listening to this, or if you're pulled over to truck stop or rest area watching this, big shout out to you all. Thank you for doing what you do and running the freight and being out there working. You're truly the warriors out there, and you're our number one, support group you got right here is in our in-house folks. And that's what we're here for. We're here to support you, and we're your number one fans, and we love you all. So keep doing it safely, picking it up on time and delivered on time. So let's slide on into some safety, Bill. What do we have for inspections this week? You want to cover that?
Sure. This week we had 156 total inspections. Of course, that was up considerably over the holiday week, the week prior, but still out of that, 110 of them clean. So give yourselves a round of applause for 71% clean rate. That's a very good number. We've had Missouri Highway Patrol up here talking, and I think they average what, Dave? 40, I think.
Right around 35 to 40%.
35 to 40% is the average clean rate. That just shows how much better that Prime is than the average. Why? We're not average, the best of the best. We don't want to be average. We want to keep climbing that number. For one, if you get a clean inspection, you get paid for it. We're going to pay you for your time. If you're a lease operator, you get $100. If you're a company driver, you get $25 because your time is valuable. Now, something that was brought to my attention yesterday when it comes to inspection, it was a truck that maybe came through inbound that didn't look exactly representable like we want it to be. That doesn't just go to our customers. When you pull up to a customer, if you pull in and you've got trash strung all over the dash and piled up in front of the passenger side window, that gives that customer a bad vibe, right? They think that we don't have our stuff in line. That doesn't just go for customers, also goes for DOT. You think if DOT sees you pull through a scale like that, they're going to wave you through? They figure if you take care of your stuff like that, what else are you missing? And that's going to get you inspected. So keep clean and make sure that you're keeping everything tidy. For one, it's not only better for the way the customers and DOT see it, it's better for you. And that way you don't have things flying around in the cab. If something were to happen, we don't want that stuff being a distraction to you. Now, I did want to go over a few things, Dave, that was brought to my attention by our citations and part of our safety department that monitor our CDLs. Now, when I say monitor our CDLs, we do have a program in place that if the driver has something going on with the status of their CDL, we get alerts on it. That is very necessary because we want to make sure we know before you have an issue with law enforcement so we can work with you to get that issue corrected. Part of the issues that we've seen a lot of this week is, and you would not think this would affect your CDL, but it does. There's certain states that if you have a personal vehicle and you don't turn those plates in when you get rid of that vehicle, they suspend your license. You may not know that, but even on your personal vehicle, and you get to make sure that anytime you get rid of a vehicle, check with your home state and see if you're required to send those in, because it never fails. Every time one of our drivers gets suspended for this, they didn't know they had to send them in. Check with your home state Department of Motor Vehicles. Make sure you know that. Another issue is drivers get their license and their CDL suspended because they don't have current insurance on their personal vehicle. That affects your CDL. We get alerts on this. We got quite a few of them yesterday. Different states, when they go through an audit, they find this out. That's going to impact your likelihood because you're going to have to sit until this gets resolved. Some of these things are going to require you to go back home. Guess what? You can't drive the truck to get there. You no longer have a valid CDL. Think of the financial impact that's going to have on you when you have to park that truck in a truck stop, find transportation all the way back to your home state, because it's never going to happen when you're sitting in your home state, right? You're going to be licensed out of New York when you're sitting in California and find out. You're going to have to spend all that money to fly home, get those plates turned in before you can get your license renewed. So make sure you're keeping up on this kind of stuff. And the other thing is DOT medicals. That's always going to be a topic when it comes to license suspensions. We get the alerts all the time that we didn't get that DOT medical on file with our home state. You've got to make sure you're doing that as soon as you get that new medical. Don't wait, because you can't have two medicals. In other words, you can't have one that's on file with the home state and one that's in your pocket that's new and recent. That most recent one has got to be on file with your home state Department of Motor Vehicles. They've got to have an updated copy. If you have any type of health issues, think about this. Sometimes we get a temporary card. They'll give you a 60-day card. Maybe there's certain things they're monitoring. The doctor wants to monitor for 60 days before they give you a 1 or 2 year card. You got to have that one on file with the home state. As soon as you get that new 1 or 2 year, you got to do it again. So this is time consuming, but you got to make sure it's about protecting your CDL, keeping it valid so you can continue to operate and not have those financial setbacks for having to wait to get your license reinstated. I think
All
that's
right.
all I had on that.
Any
Dave.
questions to Bill on that?
I had one more. Sorry.
Oh, go for it.
Checking notes. Turn in any tickets you get. Now, of course, the defense to any ticket is don't get a ticket, right? We don't want you to have a ticket because we don't want that. Once again, you work too hard for your money to give any of it back. These municipalities don't need your money. Let them make it somewhere else. But if you do get a ticket, turn it into our citations department. That citations department is there as a useful tool to you. Let's say you want to take care of your own ticket. That's great. That's respectable. I get it. Let them be an insurance company to you. Let them follow up and make sure they received your check, your money order, and they close the case out. So that way, 6 months from now, you don't find out that they never received that check in the mail and now you're suspended. They will call and follow up. If you say, I'm taking care of this ticket, they're going to verify that that ticket's been taken care of and closed. So use them as an insurance policy. But not to mention, let's say you want an attorney. Let's say it's a pretty serious ticket and you don't want to try to handle it on your own. You don't want to appear. Let them help you find an attorney. We've got different attorneys in different areas of the country that they've worked with. They know they've been helpful to our drivers before. They keep a file on those types of attorneys. Reach out to them. Say, I've got this ticket. Here it is. I want attorney information. They'll get that to you. And then that way you can see if that attorney works for you. So now that's all I got, Dave.
All right. One thing I want to add on too, Bill said, all citations need to be turned in. That's true. It's even in personal vehicles, motorcycles, whatever you may have. If you get a ticket, we need to know about it. That's part of the DOT regulations. But on top of that, make sure any inspection you get, DOT inspection, you turn in as well. So we have a copy of it. If it has a violation on it, it's not the end of the world. But states require us to sign off on those and return them. So they ensure, DOT does, that you are turning them in. We're aware of that.
And they only give us 15 days.
Yeah, they
So
give us 15
literally
days.
turn it
Yep.
in as soon as you get it. So we have time to turn it, sign it, and get it sent back for you.
Obviously, the clean ones you want to turn in because you get paid on them. So if there's no violations on there, if you don't turn it in, you're not getting paid your money. And, independent contractor, owner, operator, you get $100. Company drivers, you get 25. But if we don't see them, you don't get paid. So get them all turned into us so we have them and we can take care of them properly and efficiently too and get them back. So, but any questions for Bill on this? Licensing or anything like that? Medical cards? All right, let's move on. So this past week, usually we average out there on the road 15 to 16 million miles as a fleet per week. And every once in a while, we do have a couple hiccups that happen. In this past week, we've had two rollovers, and just want to bring them to light to everybody. One we're still investigating, happened earlier this morning, so we're still looking into that. But the one earlier this week, driver got a little drowsy and ran off the road and flipped his truck and rolled it over. Thank goodness both drivers are okay. That's the number one concern to us and to our shippers is the driver okay? And that's what's amazing with our customers. We have many times they'll call us and say, hey, or we'll contact them and say, hey, we got to roll over with your freight. And first things out of their mouth is a driver okay? So, your safety is the number one thing, number one to us, number one to our customers. But besides that, we need to kind of learn from these, and that's what this is about. We're very transparent in safety. We'll let you know the good and the bad. And the two rollovers, we're going to learn from that. And one of them, the one earlier in the week was due to drowsiness, and happened early in the morning. And so, got to pay attention to your body when you're out there and you're driving, and making sure you get proper rest when you're in the truck. So, when you're going down the road, you start feeling drowsy, you need to take a little break, pull it over. If you need to take a nap, go to sleep. Take care of your body, make sure you're well rested, you're ready to go. It is tough starting off, especially for all of our new operators. You're not going to be able to jump in a truck and drive 5, 6, 7 hours straight. That's going to be very hard for you to do. We don't expect that. Drive a couple hours, you build up that momentum, and that, just your endurance out there. And that's what it's about. And you just get better and you be able to last a little bit longer as you progress through your career. But if you need to take a break at any time, it doesn't matter. If it's you've been here 15 years and an hour and a half in, man, you're getting tired, pull over. Take a break, get some rest. Let your fleet manager know what's going on so they know. And because at the end of the day, you're number one to us, you guys, and that's what we depend on is our drivers. And your safety and that of the motoring public is always number one to Prime. So,
And I want to add, Dave, pay attention to the signs of fatigue.
Yep.
If that's you, if you noticed, I've yawned a couple times here lately, or my eyes have started to kind of feel heavy. Maybe I'm touching my face a lot. That's another sign of fatigue. find a truck stop. Stop, recharge the batteries a little bit. Doesn't mean you have to pull over and go to sleep. Maybe you need to get up, take a little walk around, get you a cup of coffee, something to kind of energize yourself a little bit. Like you said, you may not be able to drive 5-6 hour shift at the time. Maybe you got to stop after 3 hours. Maybe you're starting to see those signs. You didn't get a lot of good rest before. And I'll go back to what we talked about, having options on CPAP. If you're on CPAP therapy, use it, because if you're not, it could cause you to be fatigued. I tell you what, if I don't use mine, I am not the same person the next day. I'm not rested. So if you're on CPAP, use it. That will help with that fatigue, but just see those signs. Don't be one of these that falls asleep and possibly ends your career or get yourself seriously hurt, or whoever may be in the cab with you. Not only that, we could run into somebody else. These are all reasons that you have one of the hardest jobs on the planet. And if anybody tells you it's not, they've never done it or they're not doing it right. So see those signs of fatigue, realize it, and address it. Do something about it. Don't just, I'm going to roll the windows down, I'm going to turn the radio on. Find someplace safe. Get stopped. Energize yourself a little bit before you get back behind the wheel.
And if you're in the bunk and you're running team with someone else, making sure you wear that net, you have that netting over you in case something happens. If somebody comes across the road and hits our truck or something, you don't get thrown out of the bunk, because that could be very dangerous too. So making sure you wear that netting, have that over you when you're sleeping, that's a big part of being safe out there on the highway. And yeah, just like Bill said, recognize those signs, and everybody's a little bit different. Some of us may yawn. Some of us may, you start rolling down the way, you get a little fidgety because you're trying to stay awake. That's when you need to, look for a safe place to park, a rest area, truck stop, pull off, take a little bit of time. And like Bill said, perfect, walk around. Maybe that's all it takes. Get out and go for a little walk, grab something to drink, get back in, and you're ready to go again. Sometimes you may need to lay down, take a nap. So nothing wrong with any of that. We just want you safe out there all the time. So
I think talking about getting out and walking around the truck ought to lead into our next speaker. What do you think we bring up driver health and fitness?
there we go, man.
They've
And
probably heard enough of us.
And hopefully the in-house associates is passed to drivers, because Bill, we're depending on you to carry these miles for us.
Hey, I got this little watch and it tells me, and you'd be surprised if you put, I don't want to advertise for Amazon for no means, but it's $19 on Amazon. And I get to track how many steps I'm making. You'll be surprised at the end of the day when I leave my desk, I'm like, I've only got 3,000 steps. I better go home and get a few more thousand. It will make you want to do it. So I shouldn't be telling this to the drivers because they're really whipping us. Forget everything I just said. These don't work. Don't use them.
There you go. So let's get Rachel up here from Driver Health and Wellness. So welcome, Rachel. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Rachel. I work in the driver health and fitness department just right above us next to the driver's lounge. And I'm just going to update you guys on the Summer Stride Challenge. If you haven't heard about it, it's what Bill was talking about. It is just trying to get all the prime drivers collectively to beat the in-house to get to 6,891 miles, which is all of the miles that Prime covers across the U.S. So if you would like to participate, you can go to your Prime app and go to on-site services, click on driver health and fitness, and logging your miles is right there on the front page. All you have to do is click on the driver option and then put in your user code, put in your miles, and put in a picture of your tracking app or however you tracked your steps or whatever you did. So yeah, right now the drivers I think they're at about 3,000. So you guys are about halfway there. So keep it up. Keep logging your miles. We appreciate everyone who contributes. So any questions? Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Rachel, I have a question. So is there any, and we all like incentives. Is there any incentive to be, say, the top step getter for the drivers or the top step getter for the in-house?
Well, we are going to announce the top people. So I guess you do get bragging rights. So.
How about a really nice driver health and fitness shirt? I'm just saying. But
yeah,
anyway,
we can do that. We
just
can
a
definitely
thought.
do that. Yeah.
because everybody likes a little challenge. So if they know, if they're competing against, well, that person's only got this many miles, I can get that many. Maybe it'll help us in-house people.
Yes, that is true. I know last week we had D in the top 3. So I don't know if
She
you were in
walks
there.
all day. That's cheating. Thanks, Rachel.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Rachel. Great information. How many steps you got in today, Bill? 3,000?
Let's not talk about it.
Okay, let's move on. So who do we got next? Oh, we haven't had this person in a while here. From our detail shop, we got Terry Wood. So come on up, Terry. Thank you for coming.
Good morning, everybody. Just a few suggestions, tips, and general information to share this morning. For those of you that are just picking out your new truck and getting started, I want to talk about your inspection process. I know leasing gives you this nice, great big packet and it's got pages and lots of questions and suggestions there is, I know it can be overwhelming. Take your time, go through each one. If you don't understand one, don't know how to operate something, ask questions. And I would highly recommend take pictures. Pictures are worth 1,000 words. Good wide angle shots and then narrow in on a spot so you can see where it is in the truck or on the truck. That way you have it. And 3 years from now, nobody remembers, and then you've got your photos so you can go back to. Looking at the inside of the truck, I would pay special attention to your seat cushions, armrests, curtains, things we see a lot. It is so easy. You grab those curtains and just pull them to the side over time. That is pulling at the fasteners at the top, those hooks, and it rips. It is something we can repair, but it's still a cost. Cheaper than buying new curtains, but be mindful of it. Same thing with your window curtains. It's easy just to rip them down. One of these times you rip it down, the snap's still on the window, your curtain's not. So things to be mindful and think about. Storage, huge when you're getting on your truck. Organization, down at the detail shop, we install side boxes, those kind of things, TVs, that can help with some of your storage issues. I will tell you, we usually run about 2 days out. So as soon as you've got your truck and know what you want, get on our list. But organizing inside the truck. We see a lot of super glue. I'm just going to go ahead and say, don't do that. I know in your lease contract, it talks about you're responsible for holes and stuff in the dash, that kind of thing. We charge $5 a hole to fix a screw hole, $10 for a bolt hole. Super glue starts at $60 and can go up rapidly from there. A lot of times they have to sand that down. We've got to repaint. It can get really expensive. So a little $5 screw hole's nothing. You're just getting your truck. We do provide free mattresses as you're just getting your truck. You can have a top and a bottom for free. That does not mean come on down and help yourself. Please come see me and we will set you up with one or the other or both. We only charge for replacements. So I would ask, Company Store sells a really nice mattress too. So if you've already got a mattress in your truck and you want to get one of their plush ones, bring that mattress back down to me. We'll take care of it and take it off your truck. So if in the future you need one, you've still got that free one from us. More tips I would give you just getting on your truck. If you have pets, furry friends on your truck, seat covers, I highly recommend an air gun. That is a great tool to blow out, especially hair and that kind of thing. Bath mats, and this may sound silly, but they are awesome to go around your seats, down the center and around your bunk. Easy to pick up, protects your floor, throw them in the wash, put them back in. On the flip side of this, if you're at the end of your lease, we do highly recommend that before you go and do your final inspection at the tractor shop, that you come down to the detail shop. We can go ahead and do your detail and body shop inspections there. 15-20 minutes is all we need, and it really speeds up your payout. If it goes to the shop and that truck gets sent off the yard before we get a chance to look at it, it can slow down getting that payout. So come see us first. Chains and load locks. The detail shop is not the ones who do your credits. Now, if you leave them on your truck, we will take them off. We'll tag them. Outbound comes and gets them. I would highly recommend doing it first. That way you've got that credit in hand. You know they've been turned in. There's no worries. The last thing I highly recommend everybody do on your personal belongings, once you're getting out of that truck, double check everything one more time, and especially your permit book. We see people that's put their Twix card or their medical cards or other important documentation in that. Once you think you're done, check every cabinet one more time. In between cabinets, be looking for that. And we do have storage. So if you are getting out of a truck and you're waiting for your next, we do have cages upstairs. Sorry about that. But they are 3 feet by 3 feet by 4 feet. So they will hold a lot of stuff, and they are free of charge for you for 60 days. And just for this purpose, while you're getting off one truck and getting into another. So Any questions?
Terry, I have one question. On our, someone had posted on Facebook, and I don't know who it was. It was one of, I believe, our marketing folks, but they had shown some window covers for the side windows
Mhm.
that instead of curtains, it looked like it blocked a lot. And I was just reading some of the feedback that drivers were given. It looks like it blocked a lot more of the light out. They were saying how much cooler it kept the inside of the cab. Is that something that we keep here? Do you know?
I guess I'm gonna need to see a picture of it. I hadn't heard that.
Okay, I'm being
Oh,
told they're in the company store. So
Oh,
when she
cool.
was talking about window curtains, it made me think of it. I know they were talking like it's a little higher expense, but when they were talking about the positive that I saw as far as keeping that heat out, especially this time of the year, it just looked like
Yes.
something that drivers may want to think about.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, thank you,
Absolutely.
Terry.
All right. Thank you, Terry. Yeah. Summer Bill was down here a couple weeks ago. Yeah. Give her a round of applause. Great job. Great to get detail in it. But Summer from our company store was down. She actually brought one down.
Good.
And Dennis was going to give it away and take it out of my incentive, which I didn't think was very nice of him to do that.
Sounds about right.
So yeah, that's kind of the way it rolled. But no, we do have them down in the company store though, and they're very nice from the
I
drivers
was
that have
just
them.
reading some of the
Yeah.
feedback from drivers, and the ones that do have them seem to really like them. So
Especially keep this one that gets this hot outside. And,
That's what I
you know,
was-
Aaron said out in Salt Lake City, you got heat warnings going on. We've had them here in the Midwest, and
anything you can keep from that APU trying to wear itself out, keeping up.
there you go, no doubt. So I suppose you like to get paid, don't you, Bill?
Yes.
I know our operators like to get paid too. So this morning we decided, Sean Riker oversees our payroll department, and decided to have a couple new speakers come up here from the payroll department instead of Sean, because Sean gets a little edgy at times, and we got some issues with. No, we don't really, but no. This morning though, we got Sarah and we got Amanda from our payroll department. So welcome and good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. My name is Amanda. My name is Sarah, and we work in the driver payroll department. Today, we wanted to take a chance to come to the meeting and just kind of show you some of the features that we have on the Prime mobile app that might help you with a few payroll related items. So first off, how do you contact us? On the Prime mobile app, under My Contacts, you can see your fleet manager, your road assist advisor, payroll advisor, and logs. So right there, you can see our names. There's a direct button to call us. You can also go under messages and then payroll and send us a message if you'd like to do that. Or your best option is come find us. So if you look on there, it actually says that we're clocked in on site. So that means we're available here in Springfield. Our associates are split between two levels, the top floor of the Z building and the lower level of the Z building. We do have a couple other associates. One is in Pittston. So if you see that, they might be in Pittston, but you need somebody in Springfield, come down to the lower level to find us. We always have someone on site every day of the week, at least one associate on the top floor and 3 on the bottom floor. So if you want to come find us, that's how you can get a hold of us.
So next up is like just scanning in direct deposits. We normally see everyone that's thinking that they need to actually physically bring us the forms, but we want to make it easy for you guys when you're out on the road as well. So if you are getting new banking information or just switching, or maybe signing your lease and needing to scan in your business account, you can actually do that all through the Prime app as well. You'll just go under the Scan Documents tab, and then you'll click on the HR, and then there'll be direct deposit there. We just need a physical form from your bank. So whether that's a direct deposit form, or you can also take a screenshot of your banking information as well. As long as we have a copy of your account and routing number, that's what we need to actually put on file for you. And it normally takes about 2 weeks to get set up. So the sooner you can get it to us, the better. Also too here, under the scan documents, this is where you scan in your trip documents as well. Obviously what we need from you when you scan in those documents is making sure you're getting your trip sheet in along with your documents, and get that in as soon as you possibly can. So it's always best that as soon as you complete that load, just take that extra few minutes and get that document scanned in. A lot of our customers are needing that as soon as we can get that to them. So the sooner the better. Plus, when you get your incentives through the week as well, part of that incentive is just scanning in your documents in a timely fashion. So, like I said, as soon as we can get it, the better. Sorry, I can't see that far. So this is just actually updating your information on the Prime app as well. So we normally always recommend, especially towards the end of the year, just making sure all of your information on file is correct. your address, emergency contact, and you can actually get that to us just under the Prime portal under the My Info section. You just go in there and you can actually view that at any point in time. So maybe just a couple times a year, just go in and double check and make sure we have all that information correct. You can actually access this for even your like lease contract as well. So say, you sign your contract for leasing today, but your address updates tomorrow, you can always go in and get that updated as well. So. See anything there?
And next, we have our newest option on the Prime mobile app. I think we've had this feature maybe a little bit over a year now. This is for all of our lease operators. This is called an emergency fund. If you're not already enrolled, an emergency fund is basically like a savings account. So if you enroll in an emergency fund through us, we will withhold a part of your payroll each week and put it aside in an emergency fund. This is a great option if you're wanting to hold aside funds for taxes, save money for taking time off, or maybe you just want to save it for repairs that you have on the road, or even a rainy day account. If you want to do something fun, put some money into your emergency fund. So if you go under My Progress and you scroll down below your lease completion incentive, there's an option called Manage eFund. You'll turn on contributions enabled. So when you first go in there, it'll be grayed out. If you click the button, it'll turn purple. And then it'll give you an election date. You'll set up a date that you want to start withholding for your emergency fund. It's typically the first Friday following when you sign it up. If not, you can move it out further. Then once you've selected a date you want to start, you can select an amount. So we have 3 options for you. It's a dollar amount per week, a cents per mile, or a percentage of revenue. So you pick one of those 3 options, you put in the amount you want to withhold, you submit your changes, sign it. We get the notification to us directly. We set it up and we send you a message. So if you have any questions on how to set that up, just send a message under messages and then payroll, and ask your payroll advisor to send you the instructions on how to set up an emergency fund. I know we've had a lot of new drivers over the last couple months. We've just been sending them messages as they sign a lease, explaining to them how to do this, and we've had really good success. It's been a great tool for them to use to plan for their business expenses, and it's a great tool for us to be able to provide that for you. So if anybody has any questions, shoot, go ahead. Oh, over here.
I have one question only. What's the benefit of having an emergency fund versus a savings account?
So the benefit is that this emergency fund is withheld through your payroll. So you can go back on the app after you've withheld some funds, and you have 3 options. If you want to load it directly to your Comdata card, let's say you need to pay for something out on the road, you can do load to card. You can also do load to settlement. So if you're taking a week off and you want to apply your full fixed cost for the week, you can load it directly there. And you can also manage it at any time. So we give you that option. Payroll is available Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Time. But even if you put in a request over the weekend, we'll get to it first thing on Monday morning.
Oh, the other benefit is you don't see that money. It's like when you have it in your savings account, you see that money every day. It's easy to access it. Okay, I have that money. When it's in your emergency fund, you don't see that money until you need it. Like when I go on my home time, I go on vacations, it's like, okay, yeah, cover my negative expenses, cover my fixed costs, cover whatever I need. If something happens on the road, I'm like, oh, I got my e-fund. That money's automatically taken out. So me, I count that as a fixed cost every week. That money doesn't go to my bank account, so it counted as my fixed cost for that week. I don't see it, I don't touch it until I need it. Where with the savings account, yeah, I put the money in savings, but it's like, oh, I got that money there. I could go and use it if I need it. Where, like I said, it's a lot larger benefit to not be able to see that money every day.
Yes, that's a great point. It comes out of your settlement. It's in the deduction section. So as soon as it's in there, it's available to you at any time, but it is something you don't have to think about on a weekly basis.
Well, too, and when you are taking that home time and you, instead of coming back to that negative balance, like you said, it's just a lot easier to make that truck payment using your emergency fund. There are other options, but normally it just takes a little bit longer. It may be a little more hassle for you to send in that truck payment as well. So, yeah.
Any other questions?
I think he has one more. Hey, Keith.
Thank you. All right. I don't mean to interrupt again,
No, you're good.
but all personal feelings aside, I being an operator and the other operators are right, we're interested in money. APR, how much does it charges?
Charges
So
to
we
have the
understand.
emergency fund?
Right.
There's no
Different than a bank. Okay. right.
Yeah,
That's
there's
what I'm
no
looking
additional
for.
charges to have it. It's just a benefit for you. Yeah.
And just like on your tire fund and performance bond, we do pay interest on that. So when you go to the final page of your settlement, you'll see the total of your accounts from the previous week and your emergency fund is included in that.
If I want to make a withdrawal, how long does it take you to get that money to me?
So if you're making it, let's say you do load to card through the Prime mobile app and we're here on site or off site, Monday through Friday, it takes about 30 minutes to an hour at most. That would just be if we're away for a reason, but typically it's just a few minutes. If you do the load to settlement option, you do have to pick that Friday's payroll date. So as long as you get that request in before cutoff on Wednesday, 1600 Central Time, then we apply those funds directly to your payroll for that coming Friday.
Anything else?
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you, ladies.
Awesome, good job, thank you. Good thing about this, Bill, our meeting here this morning, afterwards, if you have questions, if you don't like to talk in the mic or you don't want your voice out there, all of our speakers will be here after the meeting. So if you have questions, just stop up there and see them, Terry and Amanda and Sarah, and in our next one too. So we
Yep,
get Mr.
he'll be
Tam
here.
up here.
There
So,
he is. Sneak
oh,
up.
look at this. He's already moving in. So good morning, Doug.
Good morning. First off, I want to thank you for what every one of you do, out there hauling freight for us. We're not out there doing that hard job. So we appreciate your sacrifice from your family's time. And just thank you for what you do first off. I'm up here today. I work in the plaza and road assist. I want to talk about some of the changes that we're doing in the plaza. We're doing a lot more maintenance out there. I know it has slowed down some wait times. We have had some increased wait times during certain hours during the week. So I'd like to address that. One of the reasons why we're doing these jobs and added this maintenance in the plaza is to speed up your overall wait time on a yard. I see on Facebook a lot, we don't want to go to the black hole. Prime one's the black hole. Once we go there, we're stuck for, 8 to 12 hours, maybe 2 days. Everybody's seen it, right? You're chuckling over there. But, we're trying to address that issue with doing as much maintenance as we can in the plaza. Let's take, for instance, a trailer needs a couple hubcaps and a fuel sensor. And then the reefer has a bad compressor. So what we're able to do in the plaza is have a couple guys work on those hubcaps, get those fixed, get that fuel sensor replaced. And then instead of the shop having to pull your trailer in later, we're able to send our service truck out there to get that reefer fixed. So we're just trying to speed up your overall wait time on a yard and open up more capacity in our trailer shop to help you guys out. So I just want to cover that. One of the big things is that don't drive by us. Come in and see us. We're doing everything we can to process you in timely, get your trailers repaired, make sure you're safe on the road, make sure the public's safe on the road. I know Dave White doesn't mention our maintenance CSA scores very often, but how are those, Dave? Those are pretty darn good, right? 32 out of 80 is intervention. So, that's a great number to be proud of. So make sure you're bringing your trailers through, especially if it needs maintenance. Don't drop them at our customers' lots. We see some, a lot of times we can turn those empties around pretty quick, especially if it just needs a panel patch or something like that. Bring them by. That way the trailers look great when we drop them off to the customers, get them washed out. Make sure we're all doing our part on that side of it. I do want to mention one of the things we're doing in the plaza to help speed up your wait times. On Thursdays and Fridays, Dan Casterkey has some instructors that are helping us. We're letting you drop your trailers in the plaza. So whenever you pull up and you're dropping your trailer, we ask you if you're dropping your trailer or keeping it. If you're dropping it, go ahead and drop right there in the plaza. You're going to save, 15 to 20 minutes. We're going to go ahead and get the yard dog underneath it and drop it on the yard for you. So we can have some better yard organization and get you out of there a little bit quicker. Did anybody come in yesterday between 10 and 5? And how did that go? Did you get to drop your trailer? Did you enjoy that? That's awesome. So we've been able to save about 20 hours of driver's time doing that over the past couple of weeks. It's been a home run. So, we're trying to do different things outside of the box to save you some time and be able to get our maintenance and stuff done for your total turn time on a yard. One thing I want to mention as well, we have all our in-house reps back there. So if you're driving a Peterbilt, basically anything hooked to a trailer or truck, we have in-house support back there in the corner. You guys want to stand up and wave? Freightliner, Peterbilt, Thermal. I don't like to name them. Yeah, give them a round of applause. They don't only make sure your truck's getting in and out of the shop timely. If you call them, they're going to make sure that you're treated appropriately while you're in those shops. You know, we've had some cases recently of, just bad customer service on their end. We've addressed it, and we have full support from our on-site reps, and they don't have a problem getting involved in those situations. So if you have an issue with any shop out there over the yard, feel like you're mistreated, report that back to our road assist department and also your on-site rep. They're here to help us out. So use that as an advantage. I want to talk to you. I got Trent Ferris over there. He can wave his hand over there. He does our pro maintenance class. Our pro maintenance class is part of our upgrade now. So every day in orientation, Monday through Friday, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., we're teaching you how to change hubcaps, rehang mud flaps, check your brakes, and go through all that maintenance things to help you out. Check your oil on your tri-pack. So if you don't know how to do that, make sure you get in one of those classes, because we'll also pay you over the road. If you replace a mud flap for us, we'll pay you $50. $50 that's a home run, just to get that trailer up and running again. That way you're not sitting in at a TA or Love's for 2 or 3 hours. Save you some time for yourself and get some freight hauled. So make sure you take advantage of that. One of the biggest problems we're having right now, and I know Trent covered it, the overheating issues, high discharge pressures. If you're running through 100-degree temperatures, make sure if you're getting those alerts, contact road assist. We're going to tell you to get it through a trailer wash and get that condenser washed out. So it's a pretty common issue right now. Make sure we're getting those reefers washed out, because the last thing we need is a claim on a load, right? That's really all I wanted to cover. Does anybody have any questions for me?
All right, thank you, Doug.
I'll take it.
Dave, I've got he had me come up with a great idea. I loved hearing about this trailer drop deal.
Yeah.
Like, all I can think about is, now hear me out, and you don't have to give me an answer right away, but how about if in the morning, if I pull up, park my car in that circle drive, because we have to walk a long way now since the main entrance is closed.
You got a point.
You can go park my car.
I was thinking Dennis.
Yeah,
Dennis is in charge of our department. He should take care of us.
Listen, two purposes. One, I don't have to walk as far. Two, you get steps in. That way you can lead the program.
I see this angle you're coming up with. Pretty good, Bill.
I'm an idea man.
Man, you are definitely. So speaking of ideas, our next presenter, this has probably been a month ago or so. We got some messages from drivers about operating a profitable business. If we could provide some information. And so we thought, hey, great idea. 2 weeks ago, we had Jeff Murphy come down here from our refrigerated division. He gave you insight on how to be more profitable out on the road for refrigerated drivers. Last week, we had Kyle Walk from our tankers department. He come down here. Today, we got Mr. Dave Peterson from our flatbed department. Now, talking about Dave here, I'd have to say he wins the most stylish outfits in our in-house associate. So he pointed out to me, he goes, hey, you may not see this, but these socks match my shirt. I'm like, he's right on. But good morning, Dave. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Yeah. I work in the flatbed division as a fleet manager. And just looking at the cost and the market and what we can do to help, the biggest thing, and it relates to a lot of different aspects, is the speed of the truck. That's the biggest thing you guys can control. You can't control the freight, can't control the market, but you can control what your fuel cost is and how fast you're running that truck. So that would be the first thing I would always recommend. If you're looking to cut costs, make sure your fuel is in line. Make sure you're running that macro 27. Make sure your mile per gallon's good. The next thing I would say is we want to look at our safety. So our accidents, those are a huge cost. If you guys have an accident out there on the road, you got a big deductible. It's at least $1,000. You got downtime. You probably have a tow bill. You might have the other operator's costs. So that's something that could add up really quickly if you're not careful. And again, that goes right in hand with your speeds. Looking at some other things, something I recommend to all my drivers is training. if you are looking to boost your revenue, boost your take home, the trainers bring home nearly twice as much as their solos do right now. So if you can get into training, and that's something to talk to your fleet manager about, I would definitely recommend that you talk to them if you're interested and see if you qualify to train. Let's see, what else are we looking at? Sorry, I got some notes on my phone. The other thing is when the market does slow down a little bit, we need to make sure we're providing great service for our customers. And that circles right back around to what kind of freight we're able to get. If we're providing good service, those customers are going to want to give us the best freight they have. If we're not providing good service, then they may go elsewhere. So making sure we're taking care of our customers in the long term is going to be huge for us. And then the last thing I guess I would say is, availability. Just make sure that, we're planning our downtime. We're making sure we're not taking off too much time. And we are planning, if you plan to take time off, you do have an emergency fund set up. The holidays are a long way away, Christmas, Thanksgiving. But, in reality, if you don't start planning now and set up an E-fund, it's going to be too late, once you get into October, November, December to really get a couple weeks worth of payments together. So I think that's about all I got. If there's any questions or.
All right. In addition to all that, even if you're having your worst day, when you go in and check in, go in with a positive attitude. I can't tell you how many times I've had a change just in service from the customer because I came in with a positive attitude when I had a bad day.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll get you a long way. Great point.
Not this time.
That's good. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it. Give him a round of applause. Dave Peterson from our flatbed department. That right there, that gentleman mentioned, about positive attitude, that can make or break it in this industry, really in your job, no matter what you do. If you come in with a positive attitude, you get pulled over by enforcement. Let's say you do get stopped, enforcement got you, and you're getting mad, you're upset. Worst thing to do is take it out on the officer, because that's going to start off with, negative inspection, possible ticket, whatever it may be. The best thing is you greet them, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, good morning. And that starts you off on the right foot and tells them that, hey, you got a good attitude, and that can make a difference. Used to be an enforcement, Bill. You know that?
It all comes back to our policy, Dave, and it's so funny how many different aspects that our policy covers. Do your best, do what's right, and treat others the way you want to be treated, right? How do you know that person or that customer representative didn't just have 2 drivers in a row with a horrible attitude? That will carry over to how they treat you, but that doesn't mean we have to do that. That means maybe it's our turn to turn them around and make them have a positive day. So 2 wrongs don't make it right. So just because they've had a bad day, maybe they confront you like you don't want them to. Kill them with kindness. Maybe that's what they need to turn their day back around. So just because you're faced with that, let's treat them the way that you want them to treat you back. It may not work, but it may impact them. You don't know how they may treat the next driver better because they're like, that person was respectful to me. I need to stop being this way today, so they can turn it around.
That's great. One other safety item I wanted to bring up, and I left out earlier, setting your brakes. Make sure when you stop and you're at a customer rest area, truck stop, even if you're on a flat piece of ground, set both the tractor and the trailer brakes to make sure your truck does not roll away. That's what we owe, and we want to make sure that, there's no possible concern that truck could roll away. If you're on an incline, depends on the incline, sometimes the tractor brakes won't hold the trailer, and that's why I set both of them, and then it won't roll, and we're ensuring that your truck's parked properly and you're good to go. So last thing we want to roll away, and we've had a couple of those. It's been a while back.
Causes a lot of damage.
It does. It can hurt people too. So let's stay out of that, and just remember, set both. So what else we got, Bill? Oh, go ahead.
I don't get to do this very often, so I'm going to today since I'm up here stealing the mic, and that is the reason we wear red. We don't wear red just because we like the Cardinals, because I can tell you the way they're playing right now, I'd just soon boycott them. But I look in my closet, 90% of the red shirts I got are Cardinals, right? So here I am, but I wear red on Friday for a different reason, and so does everyone else around here, because it's up to us to RED, remember everyone deployed. So if you're going to be coming into one of these meetings any day or anywhere that you're out there, wear red. Show people why you wear red. We have to show our respect for the men and women that are fighting and have fought for this country. So if you have served in any branch of the U.S. military, please stand and let us recognize you. We respect each and every one of our veterans and thank you very much for what you've done for our country.
And just a couple housekeeping notes too. If you have questions about the Prime mobile app or ideas, or you're having problems downloading it, if you're new, right over here to our right, we got Richard. My right, your left, we got Richard and Brianne. They're here to help you out. See them after the meeting and they'll be able to solve your problems. Also too, if you have any type of topics, anything you want us to discuss up here, safety, payroll, maintenance, you name it, detail, it's all wide open. We'll be more than happy to take your suggestions, and hopefully maybe next week or the week after we'll put them into use, and you get somebody up here to discuss what you want talked about. So
I have a feeling that suggestion may be 2 new speakers.
It could be, you never know. Yeah, it may be Amanda and Sarah running this whole show after us. You know what I mean? Get rid of us.
I'm in. Let's live.
No doubt.
They said yes.
Yeah, there we go. We got the thumbs up, so good deal. But next, I'd like to, coming down closing time, and no biggest closers we have here than Robert and Steve. So this morning, I'd like to ask Steve Woodkey to come on up, our Vice President of Sales. Morning, Steve.
Good morning. Thank you all very much. Yeah, it's good to see you all. We did have a couple of misfortunate situations this week. Man, this is tough business you all are getting into. I hope you newbies understand that it's a challenge. You got to be on your A game every time you get behind the wheel. You got to be ready to roll, and you got to be focused. You can't be distracted. You got to be looking ahead, because you got four-wheelers. I know how I drive, and I'm horrible. And you got to be ready for these people trying to crash. So please understand that this is not an easy gig. It's a good one. You can do very well, and financially you can do very well. So just keep that in mind. It is a tough marketplace right now. We're out there fighting and scrapping this week. We've been in Connecticut, Massachusetts, Georgia, and Minnesota, all seeing customers, new customers, finding new opportunities, and we're finding some wins. So just get it out, suck it up, work on your cost side. That fuel mileage is supremely important. I would really appreciate what you said about a positive attitude, my friend, because that makes a terrific difference. And I think Bill was talking about how your truck looks when you try to go through a checkpoint. They're going to determine oftentimes just the visual of whether they want to pull you in or not. See, I say it's the same thing about personal hygiene. It's not an easy topic to talk about, but I can tell you, if you go up there looking good, you don't have to have your Sunday suit on. I get it. You got a tough job, but personal hygiene is important, and it makes a difference when you want to get in and get an appointment and get unloaded. So please take care of yourself. It's part of health and wellness. You need to think like that. You thought you were coming to a safety meeting, but we're talking about spa time. We're talking about your payroll people. That David in Flatbed, fleet manager, man, he's better than just a pretty face. He knows what it takes to be successful. I don't know about his clothing and his dress. I'm not going to touch that. And maybe it did match. I couldn't see, but he's a damn good fleet manager, and we got a lot of them just like him. So please work with your fleet managers, work with your payroll people. We're all here to support you. So I thank you very much for what you've done. In the last 45 days, you've been named Carrier of the Year for Mars. You've been named Carrier of the Year for Kellogg's, just because of what you do. So congratulations. You all get a big round of applause for that. You deserve it. You earned it. I can tell you, I didn't deliver any on time. You all do it every day. So thank you for that. The speed of the team is the speed of the leader, and we're blessed. We got a hell of a leader. He makes great decisions. He works constantly to improve your lifestyle and Prime's associates, in-house associates lifestyle as well. Robert Lowe started this a few years ago. He really is a lot younger than he looks. I'm just going to tell you, Come on up here, Captain. This is your meeting.
Thanks, man. When Steve said he's a terrible driver, that was the understatement of the millennium. Let me tell you, he scares me plumb to death. Oh my goodness, he gets in these big cities and he's usually lost and, kind of trying to navigate. He is not a good example of a safe driver. I'm just saying, but he is one hell of a salesman. And he is out there working hard. All our sales folks are working hard. In-house folks are working hard. We got a great team in here to support you. I think you'd be very, very proud of them if you knew, all the inner working. It takes a lot of moving parts to keep this thing going. There's the whole gamut of things that we do in here that maybe go unseen and unrecognized. So all those in-house folks, we certainly appreciate our drivers, and nothing with in-house folks wouldn't have a job if it weren't for you, but they do a hell of a job supporting you. So, even Daryl over here, when he's not down here eating, which is a good bit of the time, he works hard and runs a heck of an operation back there. So, folks, we talked about attitude. It's so important, especially right now with things a little slow. It's kind of hard sometimes, but it doesn't cost any more to smile. It doesn't cost any more to be kind and friendly than it does to be honoring me. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't cost any more. And I tell you what, the return on investment for a smile and a friendly greeting to a customer, fellow driver, or in-house associate is immense. It's immense. So I'd recommend it highly. Appreciate what y'all do. God bless each of you and be safe out there, please.